Hey, all you hot listeners. This is episode 27 of Husband and Wife Talks. Thank you all for being here. This episode, March and I will be discussing our ski trip to Vail and why it was amazing. We'll also be ranking some Netflix Christmas movies, so that should be fun. We also get into little tips and tidbits of why you should skiing and maybe why you shouldn't and why we enjoy it. And then Marta goes on talking about some ornaments, personalized ornaments, so that's fun. And then we answer listener questions. So this is a fun episode we think you'll enjoy. So stay tuned. Hello, Marta.
Hey, Adam.
How's it going, my love?
Well, it's Monday in December. Christmas is coming, so it's wonderful.
Yeah, this is the first podcast recording in December. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I forget when we started. It was like July or something.
July. It's been a long time coming.
Probably could look that up, but that's too much work at the moment.
Look what up? When our first podcast
podcast was released.
Well, our first show notes were June 24th. So I think we recorded episode 1 on June 24th.
Wow. We've come a long way, baby.
Yeah.
And it hasn't felt like work because I really enjoy doing this.
Aw, me too.
You do?
I do.
You do.
I do.
Oh. Oh, goodness.
Ew, stop.
I think people are going to be gagging right at the beginning. Just the cheesiness from us. As you type away. What are you looking up, my love?
I'm just preparing something for the episode.
Preparing for the episode.
Yes.
Because, other podcasts prepare ahead of time. We prepare on the podcast.
That's not true.
Real time.
We prepare ahead of time, but I just remembered something
I know.
and I wanted to type it down.
I know. I was just joking. Is that what you typed down? Oh, personal. Gotcha. But yeah, this is Monday, December 3rd that we are recording. And on this Monday, it is National Roof Over Your Head Day. Just FYI.
But I thought we give the listeners the national day on the day that they listen.
That's a fantastic point. But when I search the generic thing where I go to the latest posts, it doesn't have it for Tuesday yet. But I can pull it up.
Well, I'm already there, thankfully.
See, good thing you do prep.
Because I prepared in advance. Tomorrow, it sounded like you were eating something. Yummy.
Yummy.
Tomorrow is National Dice Day.
Ooh.
National Sock Day.
Okay.
And World Trick Shot Day.
Do we really need to give attention to socks? We already know. Or do you think they just don't get enough attention because they're stuck on our feet all day, every day, and they don't get the attention that they deserve?
I have no idea. But I can look at the background.
Sure. I mean, you don't know you have quality... you don't know you have crappy socks until you get good quality ones. Because I remember... when I had the same socks for years, it seemed like, and you suggested I should get new socks, and then I finally put on new socks. It was glorious.
Because 75% of your socks had holes in them, or they were hanging on by the last few threads, and you were showing me that there's not technically a hole, but there's only one thread there holding it all together.
Yep, for some reason my socks always thin out, right by... I don't know what this portion of is. The big section of your bottom of your foot?
Like the palm of your foot.
Yeah, kind of.
The ball.
No, that's the heel area.
Oh.
Well, I would get holes there, but it's mostly where you would turn on your foot.
Like the palm of your foot.
Yeah, like the palm of your foot.
Okay, but
you said already.
Can I read the description for National Sock Day?
Of course.
Okay, it's pretty funny. National Sock Day on December 4th, which is tomorrow, recognizes the rarest of all lasting unities, the marriage of matched socks. When they manage wash after wash, dry after dry, to keep finding each other through all the chaos. A celebration is certainly in order.
This is better than I expected.
It's just funny. The founders of National Sock Day turned the tables on holidays that brought attention to such individualism like National No Sock Day on May 8th and National Lost Sock Day on May 9th. In an effort to promote the sock couples who remain together, whether animal magnetism, static cling, or chemistry, something in the detergent, National Sock Day is dedicated to highlighting even the tiny baby socks who manage to stay together. We honor all matches made in laundromantic matrimony, from argyle to tube socks, knee-highs, and fuzzy slipper socks. If they keep finding their mate over and over, National Sock Day wiggles its toes in their honor.
That's pretty perfect. Because it is true that your socks just magically disappear sometimes. And I'm not sure why. Not yours specifically, but like mine. Just socks in general. It seems like they just go into the abyss of the washer or dryer and never return.
Quite weird. Wednesday is bathtub party day.
You gonna be taking a bath, having a party? I can get you a rubber ducky. Or 2 rubber duckies, so it's considered a party.
So it was created as a way to skip the ordinary everyday shower and luxuriate in the pure pleasure of a good soak in the tub. I understand a bathtub day, but bathtub party makes it sound like you're inviting your 5 closest friends and like getting in the bathtub.
They all bring their own personalized bathtubs.
I don't know.
Portable bathtubs just to chill together.
Anyway.
The World Trick Shot Day actually seems kind of cool. Apparently it was started by the Harlem Globetrotters. Do you know who they are? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Have you ever been to an event?
No.
We need to go to one. They're fun. They're goofy. And they do a lot of cool things with the basketball, which is fun. But yeah, I always appreciate the trick shots that people do. Like Dude Perfect, if anybody's seen their YouTube channel. They do crazy trick shots and stuff. It's fun to watch. Except for after a while, I wonder how many times can you drop something off a building and make it into a basketball net? Will people keep watching? Apparently, for the end of time, because I still watch it.
I guess it depends on the person, because for me, I would not be interested in that.
You wouldn't be interested, like if they're driving a car and they're throwing a ball off the car and landing it, swishing it into the basketball hoop?
Once, but I wouldn't sit and watch a YouTube video of like several of these occurrences happening.
I need to show you a video and see your final conclusion.
Okay.
See if you actually enjoy it. But it's crazy, like how I don't know, I don't want to get off a tangent, but they started off, I think they were at Texas Tech or Texas, one of the universities, and they just made quick video of them doing trick shots, and then it blew up till now they're like a multi-million-dollar not organization, but their branding is just everywhere, and they have like this huge facility now that they're in. It's crazy. Their production quality is like above and beyond when they first started with like a simple little camcorder.
Yeah, if you have millions of dollars, I guess that's the kind of quality you can expect and get. But then also, as you gain a following, you can also you have a budget because you're making money to spend on stuff like that. So,
man, it just seems they've gone so far and probably are well known everywhere. They do crazy, they're not crazy, but they do goofy things now in their videos, and they're the people that I showed that do the stereotypes. Remember I showed you a video of like beach stereotypes or grocery store stereotypes?
I forget.
They make fun of that. So, I'll show you afterwards, I guess. Yeah.
Definitely.
Should we continue on with the actual show?
Absolutely.
So, what have we done?
So, on Saturday...
something amazing, as you wanted to put. We have an Epic Pass for skiing, which pretty much is a season pass for a bunch of resorts. A few in, I think like 6 maybe in Colorado, several in California, one in British Columbia, Canada, some in Utah,
like Northeast, one in Utah. So anyway, it's a season pass that covers a lot of different mountains and a lot in Colorado that we like and go to. And one of them is Vail, which is my personal favorite in Colorado. And we haven't been to Vail. I mean, we've only been skiing once so far this season, and that was at Breckenridge last weekend.
And it wasn't even close to the amount of skiing we did this time. Like at Breck, it was like trying to get back into the groove.
It was like a warm-up day.
Yeah.
And they had a good amount open when we were there, but not crazy amount. But Vail had over 90% of their terrain open, which is very impressive because it's still pretty early in the season. I mean, they only opened like 3-4 weeks ago. And personally, my favorite part of Vail is they have like the normal trails that you would see at any ski resort where there's like designated trails between trees and all that. But then they have a backside of the mountain where it's called a bowl, and it's totally open. It literally looks like a bowl where you can ski from any which side. And there are trails, but it's not as cut and dry because you can see for not for miles, but for a while. And then
very pretty when you can actually see, which wasn't the case this time.
And then there's, if you take another lift, kind of even one more lift removed, there's something called Blue Sky Basin, which it's not the same as the bowl. It's more like traditional skiing with like trails. But I like it because it's a lot less crowded. There was almost no one there when we were there. No wait on the lifts, no crowds on the trails. It's just
it was crazy when on our last run down when we had to get back to the middle and we were going down. This was when our legs were burning and we were just so tired. I don't think I've ever skied. Nah, my legs have gotten to that point, but you mentioned that you never skied where your legs got that tired. I think it was just from all the powdered snow that was on the ground because it just kept snowing that day. But back to what I was saying, it was just so empty on our way down to where we need to go to take a lift to go back up to a different section of the mountain to then ski back down. It was just so remote and quiet. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah, I really like it there. But the only thing is, I guess all of this probably doesn't make sense for someone that's never been to Vail or maybe isn't a big skier. But the whole mountain itself, I think, is open 9 to 4.
Yeah.
And 4 being because it gets dark at like 4:30 or 4:45. So
Which is sad.
Yeah. So they want everyone out of the mountain. And then they need to groom it and make snow and all that. So they have to have time to do kind of maintenance and prep work on the mountain. But anyway, since the Blue Sky Basin area is like 2 or 3 lifts away from the front of the mountain, that area of the mountain's only open, or the lifts to get to that mountain is only open, I think, 10 to 2:45. So it's like a very small window of time. And if you get there, a lot of times when we ski as a family, we'll get there at like noon and then we're hungry. So we don't get that many runs in. So I really wanted to go there this time. And I mean,
I think it was
I
nice.
really liked it.
Yeah, it was fun. Going down so to set the picture, it was snowing like crazy on the mountain. When we first got there, it didn't look too bad, but we went directly to the back bowls behind. You already described where the back bowls were.
Yeah.
But it was snowing so bad that the visibility was so like limited on the back bowls, which made it a little scary for me since I'm still a relatively newer skier and I don't like to not be able to see where I'm going.
I mean, that was some of the worst visibility I've ever skied in.
And the back bowls, when we were skiing Blue Sky Basin, it has like a normal path with trees, which blocks it doesn't block it, but it limits the amount of snow that's blowing through, which makes it easier to see, and you can follow a path. In the back bowls, just all open, so that just snow is coming down, so it blocks the visibility, so everything just looks straight white. If you look forward, it was so difficult to tell if there was a drop off somewhere. We ended up in like a very steep part that we didn't realize. I remember. So that part was a little nerve-wracking, but after that, when we got to like the normal trails, it was a lot more fun. But I should point out, I think we should give some idea of, if anybody's never been to Colorado, the fact that if you ski on the East Coast versus here, it's going to be drastically different because the East Coast, it takes like maybe 5 minutes to get down like a trail from some of the resorts that I've been to. But here, the fact that it closed at 2:45, you're thinking, oh man, that's sad. You have to go ski other places. It took us, we had to go back up.
It took us an hour to get back to the other side.
It took us forever just to get back because some runs, even though on Blue Sky Basin, we would take the shortcut, like the faster route down. Because first we did a longer route, which took like 30 minutes. And then we did a faster one, which took 20 minutes. It was still a long ski down. Yeah. There's some runs in Vail or Keystone that are green that could take like 40 to an hour long, depending on how slow you go, which was crazy to me when I first went there, because I was so used to just the quick down of the East Coast.
Yeah, and I think another thing, just thinking about some of the trails, is the trail itself might not take 30 minutes, but if it's relatively flat because it's merging with other trails to get to that other lift, like the one trail that we were doing, there was a flat part for like the last quarter of it, or if it's not flat, then it's like very shallow, I guess, in height. So it takes forever to actually ski that because you can't gain the momentum and the speed. But I was very happy. I mean, besides the snafu with the bowl, skiing in the back bowl where it was just really hard to see and very snowy, I had a good time, and I would
Me too.
definitely go back. The only thing I think we learned, so I've been told by several people since we moved here that for day trips on the weekend to go to the mountains, people are really dramatic, I think. People are like, oh, don't drive Saturday morning because it'll take forever. And I'm like, okay, well, how long could it take?
And when are we going to ski if not the weekend?
Yeah, the car dealership guy was like, yeah, you should go on like a Wednesday. Okay, we both work like corporate jobs where we work Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. We can take a day off, but I'd prefer if I have a weekend free, why would I not go on the weekend?
Yeah.
I mean, to me, I'd prefer not to take
point.
a day off. So anyway, people were telling me like, oh, there's really bad traffic Saturday morning to go into the mountains on Interstate 70, and then Sunday night returning from the mountains, because I guess the majority of people leave Saturday morning, drive there, and then Sunday night everyone's coming back to get ready for work or school on Monday. So we decided on Saturday, because we've never done a Saturday day trip, we only have done on Sunday, which is when we went to Breckenridge, the other mountain. So we left around 7 a.m. on the dot, which I was impressed with. I mean, I woke up, I think I woke up at like 5 on my own, but
ended up reading. Don't
mind me. I'm an extreme morning person. Anyway, so we left at 7, and then our ETA said, Google Maps said when we got in the car 9. And I was like, seems a little too good to be true. I think without traffic, it would take an hour and a half.
Oh, and then we had a big fiasco with our windshield wiper fluid. Ugh.
So anyway, 9, and then slowly the ETA was just
creeping up
to the point where when we were driving, the distance or the time to the destination wasn't changing. Like it just kept saying an hour 44 minutes, but the ETA kept jumping up, and we were like, are we even moving? What is happening? But yeah, do you want to tell the unfortunate but also kind of hilarious, depends how you look at it, the windshield wiper story?
I still don't understand what completely happened. I think it had to relate to the temperature. But when you're driving up to the mountains, a lot of dirt gets kicked up, a lot of dirt and snow, especially because it was snowing now. But if you have a lot of cars driving, especially on Saturday, they kick up a lot of dirt. So you need windshield wiper fluid to clean off your windshield. But we got to a point, I think it was so cold because the temperature was like 12 degrees in Vail, maybe even lower, that we think portions of it froze up in our pipes or something, so it all of a sudden just stopped working. So we had to pull over, which cost more time because I was driving, I could barely see out the window because there's so much dirt smudged on our windshield. It was ridiculous. And I have honestly no clue what caused it to fix on the way there, except for that it stopped halfway, or when we got almost there, it stopped again for some reason, and on the way back it did the same exact thing, and we had to stop somewhere to then try to fix it, and then all of a sudden it started working again, and then it stopped working again. I think it was just water or something inside of it kept freezing and unfreezing, which was kind of frustrating. But as soon as we got closer and closer to Denver, it started easily spraying. So I think it had something to do with some ice or something got stuck in there. But it was just frustrating and a little scary when you can't see out of your windshield because the stupid windshield wiper fluid will not come out.
I mean, we had the idea, or you had the idea for me to, obviously this was a joke. Well, maybe not obviously, depending on...
I mean, if it was that terrifying, I would say do what I suggested. Anyway,
Adam suggested, so... A few weeks ago, we bought more windshield wiper fluid because when we drove to Breckenridge, I literally every 3 minutes, if not more frequently, I turned on the windshield wipers because it gets so dirty when it's either snowing or icing, and then the dirt from the road and people's tires is kicking up. And after a few minutes, you just can't see anymore, so you have to clear off your windshield. And then when we stopped to get some food to make like a sandwich or something for that day, I remember picking up windshield wiper fluid because I was like, Adam, I think at this rate, if I, for an hour and a half, every 3 minutes, I clean your windshield, you're going to run out soon. So that's why we had a gallon or whatever
However
container.
Much is
but your idea
containers.
or Adam's idea was for me to stick my hand out of the sunroof and like pour a little bit of the wiper fluid.
Basically like what the back windshield does. Because that one works fine.
The back one just drops it.
That's why I think it had something to do with like water or ice that went down like when it was snowing or cold at night and like frosted in there. Because when I came out when we were going, it was still frosted all over the car and I had to like scrape it. So I'm wondering if something got in there. But yeah, it was a little terrifying, that's for sure. But we were fine. Especially at night, the smudges show up less. I realize it's like when light shines through, it's very obvious. But one more thing I wanted to actually talk about related to skiing. If you, Marta, had any thoughts on people who've never skied before, if you have suggestions or people that are thinking about skiing and never done it before, they're nervous, I probably can give my suggestions too because I was the same way. I've never skied before. I met you and you opened my eyes to the beauty of skiing.
I think that's difficult because I don't remember being new to skiing because I started skiing when I was so young.
Yeah, maybe not the new part, but just why people should ski. Let's go with that.
Well, I guess I'll start off with why I like it, and then maybe I can generalize it a little bit more. So I enjoy skiing. First of all, I like it because it's exercise, but it doesn't feel like I'm working out.
What was the calorie count you found the other day? It wasn't like 300 for moderate skiing per hour, 300 per hour?
I will get the answer to you in quite a jiffy.
Well, before then, people, guess.
Sure. Guess in your mind how many calories you think skiing burns.
I may have already given away the answer, but ignore that.
You did? What did you say?
I said 300 for like moderate skiing.
300 what?
Calories per hour. Yeah.
Oh. Let's see. This person says, I guess according to their Polar M400 watch, never heard of it. Looks really fancy though. This person says high intensity, they burned 405 calories an hour, medium intensity 325, and low intensity 250.
And you may be asking, how is that possible when you're supposed to just stand on skis and go all the way down the mountain?
If you're just standing and not doing anything, you're probably going to fall over because you have to balance and also use your lower body to turn into, to lean into turns.
Because you also have just straight turning, and I think you're also balancing just in general. So you're like constantly like shifting your weight as you go down. So you're doing a lot of just little movements, which kind of reminds me of like if you get a medicine ball to sit on, it's not the same, completely anywhere close to the same, but just reminded me of that. But continue with what you like. Exercise.
Yeah, I like that you get exercise without having to go on any machine or lift weights or anything like that. I also like, I think this applies more to Colorado, no offense, Pennsylvania resorts that I've been to. Well, southern Pennsylvania. Maybe in like the Poconos they're better. I don't know. I've never been there. But in Colorado, I feel like it's truly incredible how beautiful the nature is. And you can see it more in the back bowls or when you're at the top of the mountain and you can have a good view of either the town below or other peaks. And it's just really beautiful. And I love snow. So that's another thing because I'm a winter person for sure. I think those are the main. And I always like how there's always a way to be challenged because, I mean, there's greens, which are the easiest, blues, which are, or green circles, blue squares, which are medium, and then black diamonds, which are the hardest, and then double black diamonds are just more extreme. So I always feel like there's a way to judge how well you're doing, but also if you're trying to challenge yourself, you can say, oh, I'm going to go do a black or a double black, or if I just want to, go easy today, I'll stick to some greens and blues. So there's also an easy way to monitor how you're doing.
Yeah.
And I don't really, for some sports, I feel like there's pressure. Like growing up when I played tennis and swam, it's a competition. but I never competed in any way in skiing. So for me, it literally is just
A hobby.
leisurely and a hobby. Whereas if I went and got back into swimming, I would automatically start comparing my time.
Yeah.
Be like, oh, I'm slower than I used to be because I haven't swam in however many years. Or I guess for tennis, it's not as quantitative. I mean, there's a score, but you're not timed. So those are some reasons I like skiing. I think the nature aspect, especially in Colorado, is a really big deal maker, I guess.
Yeah.
It's just really pretty, and I love being in the mountains. And it's just cool that there's so much space and so many trails to ski on. It feels like you could never. I mean, I'm sure you could ski every single trail, but for example, at Vail, the one we went to last weekend, it has, I think, upwards of 195 trails.
Yeah.
That's, I mean,
And then other resorts have
crazy.
like 120, 150.
4,000 acres.
Whew.
4,900 acres
Whew.
open. Yeah. Incredible.
Fun fact, if you want to buy a house there, you better be making millions. Like tens of millions at least.
We saw some nice houses. I think our favorite was what, 11 million?
Yeah. Goals. Jinx.
But yeah, so, and I was going to say that's why I like skiing, but why other people should like it. I mean, I feel like other people should like it for the same reason.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good form of exercise. It's a really good way to explore nature without biking or hiking. I mean, hiking's just walking, but more difficult. Not everybody likes hiking. And I mean, I guess the one downside I could see is if people don't like cold,
Yeah.
then they're not going to like skiing, because at Vail this weekend, it was single digits.
Yeah.
Probably felt like 0 with all the snow and wind, to be honest.
Took me a while to feel my big toes again.
Yeah. But I mean, skiing is dangerous. I mean, it's not like, I mean, but I guess every sport in a way can be dangerous, but it's not like golf, where what's your biggest injury going to be?
Get hit in the head with a golf ball.
Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming you're not going to have a fatal injury, but in skiing, if you're getting overconfident or just being dumb, because people sometimes like get drunk and then ski, and then you're not only doing dangerous things yourself, but you're causing danger to others. So I mean, it is dangerous, so I think that could deter people, but I think that's where you have to take lessons and start on the bunny hills and not try to show off to people or do something harder than you can.
But I always think that the newer people or the people that aren't completely confident in their abilities are the ones that are actually safer than the people that are completely confident.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Because I feel like the people that are completely confident, they get overconfident and don't pay attention, and they end up hurting themselves on like easier slopes.
I think it depends on the person. Because
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It depends on the person, like what they're doing, like if they're overconfident or if
No,
they're...
I mean like you, for example, when you were a beginner, you were very cautious, which I think is good. But the people that were in the gondola with us, they didn't sound very cautious.
Well, they were just doing greens.
Well, more like the way
Oh,
they were talking,
yeah,
and they were drinking chugging beers in the gondola, which I would not say is cautious.
That's the thing
for
I don't get.
someone
Like that
who's
just
brand new.
like you're doing like a physical activity. Why do you need to bring booze into the situation? That's the thing that I've never understood. Like, why do you need to bring any type of alcohol into any type of situation that's not like a bar or a social gathering? Like, what is the purpose of bringing a flask or cracking open a Coors Light on the gondola ride up? It just honestly makes you seem more like a douche. Let's be honest.
Wow.
Am I wrong?
I mean, I don't get it. I wouldn't do it, but
because you're just endangering yourself and others, like you said.
yeah.
Because there's kids. That's the thing. There's little kids also learning how to ski, but you're putting yourself into an intoxicated state or some different state that you could hurt somebody else.
It's really not. I mean, it's different than drinking and driving because you're not operating a vehicle, but in the sense, it is similar
dangerous.
because you're still in this trail.
Mm-hmm.
It's a metaphor, trail and road, and you're navigating through this trail.
You still need your motor functions to ski.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't get it. Another reason why I like areas that aren't as crowded, because then you just don't have the risk of dealing with people who are being dumb.
One thing I was thinking about, though, is that those areas that are less crowded, I saw less of the actual like medical personnel as well, you know, because a lot of times the people in red are skiing down the front trails or the back bowls maybe, but I didn't see a lick of them in the Blue Sky Basin. Maybe that's just the conditions that it was in, and just not paying, or they were focused on other places.
Yeah.
That's why I always be nervous. Like, I see people skiing by themselves. I think that if you're going to learn to ski, you probably should do it with other people.
Yeah. I think I'm at the point where I wouldn't mind skiing by myself, because I know I probably wouldn't do anything more than a black by myself.
Yeah.
And it would depend on the black, because a lot of times, like if I'm skiing with my dad, he's better than me, so he'll try to do something harder, and I'm like, oh, I don't mind trying this, because I know if I fall or something happens, at least I'm not by myself. By myself, I'm not going to go ski through the woods or do something really scary. I'll stick to the easier ones. That
would be the benefit of actually going to the front side, where there's a lot more people, even though we don't like skiing around other people, just because you don't want it to get too crowded. But if you're by yourself, it makes more sense to ski where there's going to be more people there, you know, if you're by yourself.
Yeah. And a benefit of skiing by yourself is that if the lift lines are really long, they always have a line for singles, and the single line moves pretty fast.
It's like at is it Disney or Universal where you can go singles?
Yeah, I don't know what park or what.
I think it was Universal, because I remember doing that when I went there for my senior trip. It's like, why you're going to be on a roller coaster? It's not like you're going to be chit-chatting with your friends. The single line is so much quicker. You get on the roller coaster and you get to talk afterwards. So there's the tip for all of y'all.
That is true. Wow, this whole episode's been about mostly skiing so far.
Yeah.
I love it.
You love it? So, anything more to say about skiing or Vail or anything? The village is just awesome too. If you're not a skier, there's plenty of things to shop for there.
And another thing I guess I'll say for people that maybe are interested in getting into skiing, it's not a cheap sport to get into. Because you have to buy skis, caveat. Expensive. Boots, expensive. Snow pants, ski jacket, helmet. Don't even get me started on people that ski without a helmet. It's so dangerous.
I remember last year I smacked my head pretty hard going down I've
gotten smacked more than once, and every time I wore a helmet. One time the helmet flew off.
Yeah, it's a good thing to wear a helmet.
But yeah, you should still. Anyway. But yeah, all that stuff. And if you don't buy your skis and boots, then when you go rent it, it could be like $100 a day.
Yeah.
And then you have to pay for the lift ticket. So, yeah.
Folks, this is why we came all the way back around, where you don't actually go ski. You play some disc golf. Am I right, babe?
Oh, my gosh. Not disc golf again.
What? I thought you were into it.
I was, but I'm more into skiing.
Yeah, I know. Skiing is definitely a more fun activity, especially in the winter, because I don't want to be throwing discs too much when it's cold out, because you're not doing much moving.
And I follow a bunch of the mountains out here on Instagram, and they always post how much snow they got and pictures and videos, and it just makes me really hyped to go back. So definitely have to go skiing again this weekend.
One more note that it was interesting, because I've never skied in such powdery conditions, because it snowed so much that at certain points our skis would go underneath the snow and you wouldn't be able to see it, which was a little crazy to me, which made it a little more difficult because you couldn't see the bumps underneath the snow if there were any, but still fun.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
I've never skied in that much powder, but I mean, besides being a little bit frustrated, I thought it was really fun because, like you said, you can't see your skis and it just feels like a fresh coat of snow, and it's just nice.
I concur. Shall we move on?
We shall.
So we ended up watching some Christmas movies because you've been in the mood for them, and Netflix has a few. I think they're copying Hallmark's trademark on Christmas now, because it seems like they're coming out with Christmas movies left and right, it seems. But we watched 2 over the weekend, and we decided that maybe we should rank them for anybody out there that's interested in that.
But we're only ranking the 4 that we've seen recently.
Because I think there's only 2 more that we haven't seen. I want to see The Christmas Chronicle, which we can watch tonight if you are interested. And then the sequel to Christmas Prince, the Royal Christmas Wedding. I don't know what it's called. But for anybody out there that is interested in Christmas movies, I enjoy them. I mean, I know what they are. They're cheesy, but it makes my heart feel good. So,
aw, you're such a softie.
I know. I hate all the people that try to be too hard, like you can't enjoy a Christmas movie or a rom-com or like a chick flick. Don't give me that. Let me enjoy my life. But, yeah, so the 4 we've seen is The Princess Switch.
And these are all on Netflix, correct?
Yep, all Netflix movies. Because there's plenty more that we've actually seen, but I figured just rank the Netflix one specifically. Princess Switch, and also as a caveat, if we were ranking other movies that weren't just Netflix movies, they would be, all of them probably would be above the Netflix movies. But that's neither here nor there. Princess Switch, The Christmas Prince, The Holiday Calendar, and Christmas Inheritance. Now, baby, do you remember all of these?
So as we know, if you either know me in person or have listened to this podcast a good amount, I sleep through movies and TV shows. And fun fact, when I was a kid and I would watch TV shows and movies with my family, instead of family movie night or family TV show night, it would be family nap time. Like my mom and I would both fall asleep. I think sometimes my dad would fall asleep, but sometimes he would be the one staying up watching. So that's the expectation. The expectation is that I fall asleep.
So a lot of times the way these things happen is Marta gets really excited and wants to watch a Christmas movie. And I say, sure, why not? And then 30 minutes in, I can see her eyes start blinking really heavy because she gets in like a cozy little nook on the couch. And then she's out, and then I'm watching the rest of the Christmas movie, which is fine by me.
But yeah, I didn't answer your question.
I've always jokingly said we should do like a spin-off podcast specifically about movies or something, where it's just like, did she fall asleep? And then you try to rattle off what you remember about the movie, and then I'll try to describe the rest. Or see if I enjoy it.
I think I fell asleep during all of these. All 4.
All 4? No, you stayed awake during the holiday calendar because Alan was here. Or
AK?
Jeez,
so much for protecting privacy.
Should I put a moo on that?
Sure.
Oh, goodness. That's an extra work.
So, is Princess Switch your favorite or least favorite?
Well, let's just list them off right now. There's no particular order right now. Princess Switch, The Christmas Prince, The Holiday Calendar, and Christmas Inheritance. So, I think I did already list them off, but I just want to say them again. Just to give you time to think if you remember any.
Oh, we're ranking them now.
Yeah, we're going to rank them now.
Oh. Is this like a collective ranking, or I say my favorites and you say your favorites?
Either one. You can say your favorites and I'll say my favorites.
Okay, well, let's see. Princess Switch was when there was the princess and then they switched places.
Great synopsis.
I'm just
Who
trying
needs
to,
Google?
I'm not trying to give away anything, but I also slept through a bunch of the plot, so there's not really much I can give away.
I thought you were going to love this one for sure because it had Parent Trap vibes to it because there's twins.
Parent Trap vibes. It literally was Parent Trap. Except
was
they
it?
were older.
They weren't trying to get their parents together.
Okay, but the switching places and tricking people. And people, if you know someone and you're close to them, how do you not realize that they switched places? Like, what defines someone is not what they look like. The fact that their personality is totally different, they speak differently, they dress differently.
They're all of a sudden into you. It's so strange.
It just makes no sense. And
I can understand the one perspective because it seemed like they never interacted.
And Princess Switch was the cooking one, right? Or baking competition.
That's how you remember it?
Christmas Prince was the one where... Oh, she was
a
a journalist and she went to report on the prince.
Imaginary country called Aldovia, and Princess Switch I think was Moldovia or something.
They're just going with
Ovia.
Ovia and then just different prefixes.
And they
to
magically speak English.
every
country.
Holiday calendar. Oh, that's when she got the advent calendar, right?
Yeah, it was magical.
Magical advent calendar.
Mm-hmm.
Christmas inheritance.
Rich girl goes to a small town.
Okay.
She was supposed to be in line with for CEO, but her dad wanted to deliver a letter.
Oh, yeah.
She had a douchey boyfriend.
I can't rank them because I fell asleep during all of them.
So I'm supposed... I think you literally just said, so this should be a collective thing because I'm going to be ranking
collective,
them.
like, you say what you think, and then I say sure, unless I very vividly remember that I liked another movie better, but I highly doubt that.
I'm going to start with the bottom. We're going bottom up. First one, Christmas Inheritance.
So least favorite.
Least favorite.
Why?
It's so generic saying the
rich person goes to a small town and falls in love.
And I also didn't like the male lead in that, the love. He seemed very standoffish, and I didn't like the voice that he was going for. It seemed a little forced.
Pretentious.
I don't know about pretentious, it just didn't seem right. Except for the guy that was, he was actually in The Office in like the last season.
Oh, I'd have to go back and look.
He was the one that was interested in Aaron. Then I think I would put, now thinking more about it, I think the holiday calendar would be next.
Holiday calendar? Why is that?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Honestly, I have no idea. It's really difficult to compare these all. But maybe I am a fan of the royalty and the magical lands that they go to, the made-up countries.
You enjoyed Aldovia and Moldovia?
Yep. I think that's...
Gotcha.
I think it was tough for me to rank the Christmas Prince and holiday calendar. I think they're right next to each other, so I think the second, I guess, tied for second, I don't know, is Christmas Prince. And then I like the Princess Switch because I like the dynamic of two of them. And I like the Parent Trap dynamic. It made it interesting. Had two love stories instead of one.
That's true.
Just ratcheted up the cheesiness, and I loved every second of it.
That's fair. I think I'd agree. I mean, I don't know. I thought Princess Switch, I was a little frustrated. Like, I thought there's something about it that just seemed really... To me, it seems dumb when you go across the world, you go to a different country to something for your job, and then you just fall in love and you stay there. And then there's no mention of your other life in wherever your hometown is. You just fall in love and stay there.
Now I'm thinking about it, I'm going to move the holiday calendar above Christmas Prince because I like the fact it was like somebody from your like life that you've known, so
like
it
a
makes
small
sense.
town love story. Not
it makes sense that you're falling.
Well, then
in
why
love
would you
with
like Princess Switch more?
Just because I like the dynamic
Okay.
of two of them.
I think in Christmas movies, I don't mind. I actually like when what you said, if you know someone in your life or you met someone in your town and you fall in love. Okay, yeah, it can be cheesy, whatever. But at least it's in your circle or it's more logical.
Yeah.
But when you travel somewhere, I mean, I just said this, but I just really don't get it. You travel to Aldovia and then you fall in love and then you get married and stay there. What about your job? What about your family?
This is the one thing I think Netflix movies need to capture because Hallmark, I think, does a pretty decent job. Or Hallmark, it looks like they elongate the timeline so like it doesn't happen right away. Like there's things that go on. And so it like happens within like multiple weeks. Whereas in one of these movies, can't remember exactly, it seemed like it happened in a course of 3 days.
That's even faster than the Bachelor franchise timeline. And I thought that was expedited. Apparently, getting engaged after 8 weeks is no problemo because some people do it after 3 days.
I mean, to be fair, what's her name? Was it Annabelle? Annabeth? Is that her
Annalise?
name? Annalise. She was ready to marry somebody within the first day or hour. So, I mean, I think that's a little... I think it's possible, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, but she was saying that. She wasn't actually engaged. These people, I mean, this is a movie, so I guess they're not actually engaged either. But
Oh, hello, dryer.
that's the beeping is the dryer. Someone's doing laundry.
But do you agree with that ordering now that I have number 1 Princess Switch? I know that's a little contentious because you're not a fan of it, but
I mean, yeah, it's fine. I like the Parent Trap duo. The unrealistic part of it gets me.
And I like the actress Vanessa Hutchinson. Is that her name?
Vanessa Hudgens.
Hudgens. Yeah. I liked her. I think she did a good job. But yeah, Princess Switch, holiday calendar, Christmas Prince, and Christmas Inheritance.
Also, is it required to either have the word Christmas, holiday, or
yes,
something related to
100%.
royalty in the title?
100%. Have you seen any of the Hallmark movies? They all have some.
How do they not run out of
relation to
titles?
Christmas. I don't know.
There's only a finite amount of words that you can use with the word Christmas or holiday. You can't say the holiday table or holiday Christmas chair.
I guarantee you there will be a movie by Hallmark called The Christmas Table. That is going to happen eventually.
Gotcha.
It's probably going to be 2 small down people fall in love while playing poker or something. I don't know.
That's funny. I guess we'll have to wait and see for that to come out.
Mm-hmm. But to continue, I think that's our definitive ranking for right now. We'll see how we feel after watching Christmas Chronicles, I think, tonight. But you next have personalized ornaments as a discussion topic that you just added. So
yes, because
do I need to do like an introduction since is this like a Canvas chat or nah?
It can be. I don't care.
What do you want to call it? Martha's Christmas chat?
I mean, every time I chat about something separate, like a different random topic, so it probably shouldn't be
specifically candle chats.
Yeah, specifically candle. Maybe just chatting with Marta, murmuring with Marta.
Murmurings with Marta.
That's not very good alliteration.
Marta muses.
Marta muses. Very good. So, personalized ornaments. We got personalized ornaments for Christmas, an early Christmas present. And then I started looking online because I remembered a while ago I wanted to look at and potentially buy some personalized ornaments, but I had forgotten. And the ornaments we got reminded me. So anyway, there's 2 websites I've been perusing. One is personalizedornamentsforyou.com. Quite a mouthful if you ask me. But they have a lot of good stuff. Honestly, I was looking through the baby section, not because we're having a baby, but because they were all really cute. But some of the things were a little weird. It was like babies potty trained, and it was like a little animated baby sitting on a little like potty training toilet. And I just thought that was weird. I don't know why you would. I mean, I guess you want to commemorate stages of your baby's life.
Yeah, but you don't need to document it on your Christmas tree.
I think that's the thing that gets me. Like, take pictures of whatever you want, but you really want a freaking porta potty thing for children on your Christmas tree? Anyway, but the personalizedornamentsforyou.com has a lot of different collections. They have really for any stage, like wedding, vacations, college, school, babies, homes, really a lot. So I've been perusing. And, I mean, you can personalize them, obviously, so you can have your name or whoever's name you want to gift it to. And I feel like it's a cute gift because it's personalized, but they're also not that expensive. Mm-hmm. So if you only want to spend like $20 on someone, you can get them a nice ornament instead of...
Just make sure they celebrate Christmas.
Yeah, if they're Jewish or celebrate Kwanzaa, that might be a little awkward. Unless they're the type of person that has...
a Christmas
tree. Because I know some people... Not personally, but I've heard of people that aren't that religious. I don't know if they're technically consider themselves Christian, but they still have a tree, but they're also like Jewish. I'm not quite sure. Or maybe like if your family.
Because they want Santa to come.
Yeah. I mean, I would want Santa to come. I do want Santa to come. And anyway, the second website is personalcreations.com, which is where our ornaments that we got gifted to us were from. But also really cute. You can use pictures like your own photos and create it into a ornament, or just like some of the cute ones they have pre-made. So I'm definitely going to look through and maybe purchase some as gifts, or maybe, I mean, we already have some saying that we newlyweds or whatever first Christmas together. So I don't know if I'll buy any for us, but I thought they were cute.
Which that leads to the topic that we got a Christmas tree today.
We did. It's sitting about 3 feet from Adam and 5 or 6 feet from me. Quite naked, not decorated yet, but right after this.
Leaning a little towards Marta.
And it's a little crooked, but
I think the lady cut the base poorly and not straight.
We love you anyway, dead tree in our house.
But
also,
decorating it.
The second segment of my Marta Muses section. So the show that I definitely mentioned last week.
And 2 weeks before that, and 3 weeks before that, probably.
So Jane the Virgin, I'm officially caught up.
I think... Now that I'm thinking about it, you probably should just watch soap operas. You probably should watch all the Spanish soap operas because that seems like right up your alley.
Yeah, so Jane the Virgin is considered an American telenovela, which is pretty much a soap opera, I think.
Mm-hmm. Which I think we've described before.
Telenovela?
Yeah, I think we've mentioned it.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that it literally means soap opera in English.
Crazy.
Oh, wow. That's funny.
But it's not in the same, anywhere close to the same style. It's like in a TV show style. But soap operas are very distinct American style here. I'm not sure about telenovela.
Oh my gosh.
Mexico.
The original Jane the Virgin is called Juana la Virgin, and it's Venezuelan. So Jane the Virgin is a spin-off of this show. Wow, my mind is blown.
Crazy.
Because in the show, in Jane the Virgin, one of the characters is a telenovela star, and he's trying to Americanize his telenovela. That's like really
meta,
yeah. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize it was based on this Venezuelan telenovela. Wow, I need to do some more research after this. This is blowing my mind. But anyway,
don't actually give yourself spoilers by looking at what the other show's done.
I just Googled Jane the Virgin, and then I saw that as like a suggested kind of. But anyway, I finally caught up to all 4 seasons on Netflix.
Led to a nice cliffhanger.
Oh my gosh, such a cliffhanger. I won't say anything on here because I don't want to be the person that publishes spoilers. On the
I feel like this is a consistent thing. You mention Jane the Virgin, then you say, "Oh my God, something happened."
Because it's so dramatic.
And then we go to this.
Like, I'll just be very vague and say you should watch it. It's hilarious. But also, the whole last episode, they were leading you to believe that you were going to find out a certain piece of specific information. They were dragging it out, and you're like, okay, I really don't see how this specific information could be that dramatic, like, after everything that's happened. And then the last
pull a twist.
3 minutes of the show, when you think they're going to reveal one thing, they totally just show you something, and so it's not what you're expecting, and it couldn't even have been in your wildest dreams. I mean, maybe in your wildest dreams. I don't know. But it's crazy. I guess this is what soap operas are. I've just never watched one, so this is all new to me. But yeah, that's the end of my little segment. Talked about personalized ornaments and Jane the Virgin.
That has been Marta's Muses. Okay, one final thing before we wrap it up. I want to get into one listener question, since we have a good amount, so we figured we'll touch on it one each episode. I think we have 9, so after the 9th one, we need more questions. So if anybody's listening, make sure to click on that email link in the description, and you can send us emails with questions that we'd be happy to talk about. So this question: would you rather get one free round trip international plane ticket every year, or be able to fly domestic anytime for free? Now, me personally, I think I know the answer right off the bat.
The answer meaning my answer?
Your answer and my answer. I think it's obvious, in my opinion, but other people may feel differently.
For me, I would definitely want to be able to fly domestically anytime for free.
100%.
Because I could ramble about Scott's cheap flights again. But if you use them or you find cheap international flights yourself, it's quite common to find an international flight even cheaper than a domestic flight.
Mm-hmm.
And in that case, why would you take one free international plane ticket over unlimited domestic? I guess if you only want to travel internationally, but I mean, there's so much to explore in the United States that I feel like it makes sense to be able to travel domestically for free.
Yeah, and then you can take nice weekend trips just
and then
places.
You'll rack up more points.
Yeah. Oh.
It's free, so you're not paying.
I love this way of working around. We're getting points, but yet getting it for free. This little caveat now added to the question.
The caveat is what? That you also gain airline points?
Yeah. But now, to make it a little more difficult, what would it have to be? How many free round trips internationally would you have to get for you to say, I'm going to scrap the fly anywhere for free and go with the other option?
Fly
2?
Anywhere internationally for free.
3?
No.
4? 5 times?
No. Because
how many times? But here's the thing: is how often are you going to fly internationally?
No number of times. Because I could take a domestic flight, every single weekend. I could take 52 flights if I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to take 52 international flights because it's probably further away, and with time zone changes.
Oh, and then this doesn't also factor in. Is are you going to get PTO involved in this? With your work, you're still going to have to take time off, so that still limits the amount of traveling you can do. Or domestic, if you do.
You're really complicating this question.
I'm trying to draw it out so we have more of a discussion, baby. Instead of just it's the second one. Move on. That's it. Say goodbye.
Well, how long has it been? It might be time to say goodbye.
It has been 56 minutes.
Yep, I don't have anything else to say.
Don't have anything else to say, you listeners. So we're going to wrap it up. This has been... Oh,
I was just going to say, sounds good.
Oh, you do have some more things to say. That's funny. But this has been episode 27 of Husband and Wife Talks. We appreciate everybody for listening. Remember, please share us with your friends and family. That would be really helpful. Share us on social media, the Twitter sphere. We have a Twitter account, which you can find in the description at HotPod, Facebook.com/HotPod. All of this is in the description, actually. You can email us, hotpod@gmail.com. There's a link in the description as well. We have a website, hot.podbean.com, where you can find all the other podcast episodes, along with finding them on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, Spotify. It's everywhere. Go find it and share it. We appreciate it. I think it's time to say bye.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
That was so long and drawn out. Bye-bye.